I think our viewers appreciate when we talk of misinformation from what has been going around in the media in the past 2 days, 3 days. You now appreciate why misinformation really can cause a lot of anxiety. That document was not originated by UCC. Our document, as you know, our media engagement, we always do it officially. So we want to appeal to the general public that before you share any information online, first verify. It's not difficult to verify. Our offices are open. Our public relations office is always ready to receive these questions of clarifications. Please clarify. Like the PS has said, I want to repeat that what has been circulating, that internet is going to be switched off, is definitely not the position of government. Because as regulators, there's no way such would happen or would be in preparation without my knowledge. Somebody would have told me to prepare. I want to assure the nation, nobody has told me to prepare for that. I don't know, because we have these stakeholders whom we always consult. We have consumers. Consumers haven't indicated to me that they want the internet switched off, unless if the media tell me so, that the people out there are yearning for the closure of the internet. The regulator will definitely listen to the consumers. If consumers tell us and say, the internet is causing us problems, we'll evaluate that and see whether it is proper to do that. But the consumers haven't told us that. Two, the operators. The operators can also tell us that maybe they have problems, so they are going to, maybe they have to notify us. The operators haven't done that. And they wouldn't do that because data, internet, is their cash cow. That's how they make money. And that's the public service which they give to our people. Another stakeholder is government. Nobody in government has told me anything, even related to closure or switching off of the internet. Those are the three major stakeholders who would tell me to prepare. I may repeat, consumers haven't told me. Operators haven't told me to prepare for that. Government hasn't told me to prepare for that. So this speculation is very, very unfortunate. If this were to happen, definitely we'll come out as regulator to brief the country, to brief our stakeholders as to why it should happen. So we would appeal to the general public to stop speculation, go about your work, business as usual, like we are doing our work, business as usual, so there is no cause for alarm. If there is anything, if those three stakeholders told me anything, I'll share with you. Because I'm here under the law, I'm here to share with you whatever actions would want to take. UCC is a statutory agency there to protect the consumers, to regulate the communication space, and we do it transparently with accountability to the people, with accountability to the population. There's nothing we'll do in whispers. There's nothing we'll do in hiding. If we are to take any intervention, we'll share it with the general public. So there is no reason why we should speculate on this. Another issue, Madam PS, is the issue of Starlink. I want to assure the nation that we are processing the license of Starlink. For the past 6 months or so, the UCC has been processing the license of Starlink. Processing a license is not an event, it's a process. A lot of things for public interest, which we have to ensure. We have asked them for documentation, we have asked them for clarifications. I'm happy to tell you that most of these, they are provided. So we are processing. We are processing. And as you know, the law gives the regulator only 6 days. If I was given all the documents, if all my clarification I wanted were given to me, the law gives me only 60 days in which to process a license. I have not that choice of saying I can do it after 60 days, I can do it in 100 days. No, only 60 days. But that is if you've answered all my clarifications. I have to issue the license within 60 days. Starlink company knows very well how this engagement is moving. However, Madam PS and the general public, we've been seeing in the market, there have been people who have been using these Starlink terminals to get internet. And that was illegal because Starlink had to be licensed to operate in Uganda. The equipment used, the terminal, the routers, and all other satellite devices have to be type approved by the Commission before usage. However, you know that there have been some people, and we have evidence to this effect, who have been receiving signals. Why? Because some of our partners in the region already have licensed Starlink. And as you know, signals respects no boundaries. But that being that, each jurisdiction has a different licensing regime. We are different countries. So there is no signal that can be allowed in Uganda if the operator is not licensed in Uganda. That's why we had to caution Starlink. We have to ask them that we see your signals, and there are some our people who are overzealous. They're already using your equipment. And you saw the response which they have done. We want to thank Starlink for being responsible. So they have geo-locked all signals in the jurisdiction of Uganda. You can't get internet. We've heard that there are some people who have global account, global roaming, and regional roaming. We are seeking clarification on this. This also must be geo-locked because Starlink has no license in Uganda. This is a normal regulatory activity. It's not because of elections. Elections are going to be there on the 15th. We shall continue to do our work as regulators. Elections were not there when Starlink applied for the application. I didn't think Starlink applied to operate in Uganda because of elections. It's our normal regulatory work. It's not only Starlink who is applying to have this kind of services. As you know, there are so many other providers, OneWeb, Project Kuiper, so many satellite operators whom we shall be, whose application to operate in Uganda will be processing. You've had the announcement already between Airtel Africa and Starlink, where they have collaborated to provide internet via the core network of Airtel. Airtel is already licensed in Uganda, so this partnership, we have no problem. Of course, we shall have to ink our approval on this partnership, but we have no problem with it because already so. We are not preventing Ugandan from enjoying the services of Starlink. I want to assure Ugandan that already the services of Starlink have already been told by Airtel officially that come a few weeks, if not days from now, you will be able to directly get signal through your Airtel line to access internet anywhere in the country via their core network. So we are not preventing the country from enjoying that ubiquitousness of satellite technology. That one I wanted to clarify very, very well. Because some people have been saying probably by delaying, and we are not delaying. I told you the law only gives me 60 days. Why haven't we approved this license for the past 1 year? Because all the time they bring their requisition, we ask you questions on your behalf. We do it on your behalf through the law. They have to clarify to us. If you are not satisfied, we ask for clarifications. We process. As I told you, issuing a license is not an event, it's a process. And a rigorous process for that matter. Because the communication business is not a usual, normal business. This is business that affects lives of so many people. So before we issue a license, we have even to publish it in the Gazette, and we call for your comments at the general public. And what you tell us also inform whether we should issue a license or not. So when you see that happening, you know that we are closing, we are reaching the tail end of the license issuing process to Starlink and other satellite operators like OneWeb, like Amazon, who have already also asked us to start the process. Madam PS and the general public, I want to use this opportunity also to remind the broadcasters. We've been, Madam PS, engaging the media at a regional level. We've done that. We've engaged the media at the owners level as UCC. I've engaged the media at the foot soldier level, an informal engagement where we have interacted, again talking about these things. Now I want to, again, just reminding you, because we have talked about these matters, live broadcasting or live streaming of riots, unlawful processions, or violent incidents, as you know, is prohibited. You know that. And sometimes you must know the background of this. In your studios, you have the delay mechanism. Why do you have the delay mechanism? To allow your editors to sieve the content you bring to the public. And this is the international best practice. You don't just get any content and deliver it without reviewing it. So how do you review live streaming as a broadcaster? How do you review it? That's why we prohibit it. Take the content to your studio where the delay mechanism is so that they can review content before they give it to the public. So I want to reiterate this. Such a coverage risks spreading panic and undermining public order. It is prohibited. And let me tell you, anything, when I come here and I tell you this is prohibited, this is not allowed. We are allowed under the law to do that. If you are not sure, go and ask somebody who received that license which you have on your behalf. You have what we call licensing obligations. I'll interest you to go and read that license, which is a contract between yourself, the regulator, and the government, and that it means, by extension, that is a contract between you and the people of Uganda, because we act on behalf of the people of Uganda to license you. A license has obligations. I want to interest you to read these licenses and internalize them very, very well. because I've been hearing some innuendos that where do you get those powers? I want to assure you there is no regulatory declaration I'll do which is unlawful. And I also want you to appreciate this. UCC is not final. This is a country that follows law. If you think that the intervention we are doing is unlawful, you don't break that intervention. You don't break the rule. You don't break the regulation you have issued. What you can do, probably, you take us to another level, whereby somebody bigger than both of us can adjudicate and say, yes, I think UCC, you are wrong. But you don't break, these directives. These are lawful. We are empowered. I'm empowered to make these directives. If you think the directives are unlawful, you can choose to take me to somebody who is bigger than us. And those are the courts of law, so that they can adjudicate. And I want to assure you that I have one of the best chambers in this country. So by the time I issue these directives, really, they have been chewed up to make sure that they are very lawful. So before you waste your money filing those very, very complicated filings, I know how it costs to file a petition in courts, and I know how financially you are performing, most of you. I wouldn't advise you. Yes, I know, because you file your returns with me every month. So before you waste your money, please, I would advise that you come to me maybe and say, is this really true? Then I will explain before you go to courts of law, because we shall go to the courts of law and I'll leave you there. So I want to caution you. Incitement, hate speech, and violent content, whether broadcast or posted online, are strictly prohibited and will attract immediate enforcement action. Note that. I'm just reminding you, because I've already written to you, and Madam Pierce, you provide me with a lot of ink, with the toners. I will not get tired, because you have provided me with a lot of toners and printers. I'm going to remind you again before the end of this week. I'm going to write again the same letter I wrote 3 months back. I'm going to, because I have no shortage of toner and printers, again to remind you, to know that these matters are very, very serious. I'll remind you. Even if it's reminding you 10 times, I'll do it, because that's the work we are doing on behalf of Ugandans. The declaration of election results is the sole mandate of the Electoral Commission. Unofficial tally centers, premature announcements of results, or broadcast unverified results are unlawful. Madam Pierce, you've alluded to this. I just want to re-emphasize. The innuendos I hear is that we are trying to stifle freedom of expression. Those kind of things you always splinter around. I want to assure you, if you didn't know, elections are a regulated activity under the Constitution. It's only the Electoral Commission which has the mandate to announce results. And because of that mandate, is given an appropriate budget to do so. And I think you have looked at these numbers. This mandate, you don't just get it because you have a pen and a phone. You don't get these capabilities because you're a journalist, you have a pen and a phone. Then you get the capability of tallying results, later on declaring these results. This is a wider mandate. This is a national activity that can cause a lot of anxiety, that can cause a lot of panic. That's why a whole commission, this time round, headed by a justice of the Court of Appeal, a Supreme Court judge. Justice, yes. So election results are not news as usual. Man bites dog, or dog bites man, that news of ours. No, this is regulated news. Like UNEB results. I've been giving you this example. Like UNEB results. You can't be a good investigative journalist. You go to a marking center, peep there, and see Bosa has gotten 20 out of 20 in history in number 2, and you come and announce that I peeped, and I'm an investigative journalist, accredited by media, whatever. Yes, now I've seen, while these people are still marking, Bosa got 20 out of 20 in history paper 2, number 2. And you declare that one as news. Nobody will accept that. Bosa, of course, if you did that, Bosa will be excited. But what happened to number 3? What if he gets 0 in number 3? He ends up failing that paper after declaring him a winner, just because you have seen one number which has performed very, very well. You know what? That's a kind of anxiety. What kind of anxiety will cause? That is to Bosa. Imagine what happens to an election. So, declaration of results is only mandate of the Electoral Commission. And we shall direct, and we have directed, that every piece of result you announce on your radios, on your TV, online, must be from the Electoral Commission. In my directive, which I'm issuing next week, I'm going to ask you that every announcement of electoral results should be followed by a statement that these results have been verified by the Electoral Commission. I'm going to make that directive. When you issue, say, Nyombi Tembo got 420 on polling station A. Immediately after that, you must say, these results have been verified by the Electoral Commission. Yes, I'm going to give you that clarification because some of you are not sure of what we are talking about. I think with that now, you'll be very sure what we are talking about. So, thank you very much. I want to thank you, the media. Since the election process started, we monitor the media very, very closely, and I think there is some sanity